Good morning. I have a microphone now so I can actually do proper voiceovers. And I had started my webcomic series, um, just kind of going over everything and like showing you guys the process. A process to someone who is literally just starting out. Um, the last time I made a comic was 10 years ago, and it was this comic. I am rebooting my old comic, and webtoon scrollers weren't a thing. So this is just kind of an update on the comic and the process so far. Um, I released it for the first episode this week, so quite literally, it's all brand new. So I released Among Gods up on Webtoons, Tapas, and my own website. I'll put the links down below for you guys if anyone wants to check it out. And I have, I've seen a lot of videos and I've watched a lot of videos like what to do when starting webcomics and everything like that. And a lot of these people have knowledge. They have 100 episodes and they've been doing this for a few years, and it's been great. I've learned so much from all of them, and I've taken as many tidbits as I could. So this is kind of a not necessarily do what I do to get, famous, because no, this could be more of a cautionary tale. This is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm starting out. Take note or avoid things that I did. So I started my journey 6 months ago. One thing I really wanted to do was get as many episodes done before I released as possible. And, a couple things that I will note that, and everyone always says, like, your style changes. That is very much true. It's been about 6 months since I rendered my first episode, and I have 10 episodes done, and the style difference is kind of like mind-boggling. Like, when I posted my first episode, I was kind of like, oh god, this is, it is what it is. And I wasn't gonna redo it because, like, I'm still proud of it, but it's so different looking. Like, some of my characters look different. I've gotten the form on the bodies better in the later episodes. For some reason, like, in my first, episode, I want to say in, my first 4 episodes, I made Hades really derpy looking. Not on purpose, obviously. No one wants to make their character look derpy. But whenever I had him in a certain angle, I was just like, God, he's just a derp. I can't figure out, like, why he looks like this. And, like, I kept redrawing him. Like, I had this one panel that I drew, like, 6 times, and I was like, well, I've given up. Where I finally, and he's, like, the character that I've drawn the most, and yet I still was, like, struggling to get him to look consistent the entire time. And I still feel like I struggle to make him consistent because he's a younger version of himself, so his hair is shorter, and I keep wanting to draw, like, his beard and his longer hair, and I'm like, nope, gotta take a step back. But I feel like now I really, in my later chapters, I'm like, I finally nailed it more. I'm like, okay, he actually looks more like the character that I have envisioned. But it took me, 5 episodes for that to happen. And that's just kind of, the progress that I've seen in my own stuff so far. So I have, so I have a cache of episodes ready to release, and, so I can actually release on a weekly basis. So I'm pretty excited for that. I my first episode was about triple the length of all of my other episodes because I'm one person and I realized that I am not a Webtoons original and I don't need to be drawing 60 to 80 panels. So I reduced it to about 20 panels per episode. But my first episode was like 60 some panels, so I broke that into 3. So that's another reason why like my first episode is kind of like, whew, because it's not even in the same format as the rest of my episodes are. But you know, like I said, I wasn't gonna go back and redo it because it's still a learning process for me, and I'm still proud of the work that I put into it. And that's kind of the biggest thing is what this is about is it's about learning. It's about learning what works, what doesn't work, and you know, what I can do to improve. So that's where I'm here, you know, to kind of just share that stuff with you guys. And if there's anything where I'm like, this really works, or if this, like, I was like, don't do this, cautionary tale. So that's just kind of what the webtoon, the comic series is going to be about. This particular piece is not a panel or anything from the actual webcomic. It's just my 2 main characters, and I struggle to kind of not take this, like, shade it like I would. I did like a combination shading where I was trying to push myself to shade not in my webcomic style, because I was like, oh, I want to actually take a piece and make it look really nice, not just like quick and dirty like my comic. And I ended up doing kind of a combination of my rendering styles. And the biggest thing is patience, because I will say that having done so many of the comics in like such a quick space, it's I have gotten really quick at doing the rendering, but you know, and it works really well for the comic. But when you're actually trying to like take time and like work on a piece, you know, so my patience has gotten frazzled a little bit. I even like lost patience like in this piece where I was like, it's done. But I think the end result is I like the end result, so it works. It ended up working. But yeah, so this, like I said, isn't a piece of my actual comic. It's just the 2 main characters, and what I really wanted to do, I had this line art that I had done a while ago, but I just never colored, and it was just, I wanted to draw pregnant Persephone, them waiting for, you know, expecting their first child, and, you know, I never drew her pregnant before, so that was just kind of what I wanted for this piece. And I go and I edit all of, you know, the lighting on this was a little too harsh on their faces, and it was bothering me. And I just wasn't like, I was like, what is wrong with it? I was like, does she need to be more in shadow, or is, you know, because like he's covering her, and you know, like realize like, oh, the angles are, you know, where the shadows like hitting her face, it's like she's got very hard angles on her face, and all of that needed to be softened. So I ended up softening that after I was like looking at it for a while. I ended up softening that up at the end. And same thing with her belly. My cousin looked at her belly and was just like, that's not a pregnant belly. This is a pregnant belly. And she showed me a reference photo. So I edited that to give her more of a pregnant belly, like a softer pregnant belly, where it's like tight, like the fabric's more tight around her belly, rather than kind of loose and things like that. So yes, so right here I'm starting to soften up the edges on her face. But anyway, that's it for me. I will be posting more on my webcomic. I release Among Gods this Wednesday on Wednesdays. So the next episode will be up on Wednesday, and I'm hoping to record my next process, my storyboarding process, and kind of go over that with you guys. So until then, I will talk to you later.